Yeah, it resonated with exactly that. I feel like I'm just going back into the writing process again, and I always love what it does to me. I always have to go through. It's almost similar to like a psychotropic trip.
Dude, I'm
I
in
have
the
to go
same
through
place right now,
kind
bro.
of like a depression. I got to go through not a depression. It's like it's a very discontented place. I really wish I could just like come to the studio like purely contented, but it's always like I have to rediscover myself, and I have to kind of like you describe in that last one of the death of your old self. I have to
Yeah.
slough off the skin and let the old selves pass before
Yeah.
I can start writing again. And you know how it is. I've got 2 little ones now, and life is really busy. And you're just like, who's got time to slough off a whole snake skin on
I know,
on a
bro.
Tuesday at 11 a.m.? You know what I mean? I'm just like,
Dude.
slough it, and gotta go
Slough it.
deeper. Gotta go for a bike ride. Gotta do some meditation. Gotta do what I gotta do. And then I have to get into it to where I get writer's block, get frustrated, write several really bad poems, and then suddenly things start churning. And I remember, it's not even remember, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not like I remember who I am, it's like I wake up to who I am now. And I'm like, oh, and usually for me it comes, and I don't know if it's the same for you, but it comes when this is a strange one for me in the last like 10 years, but I stop asking what do I want to say, and I try to quiet myself to listen to what I think needs to be said. It's a different place to write from. I usually, that's why I think the bad poems come out first, because they're about me. And I'm like, I'm not publishing that. And then something will come through that feels more like you're tapping into something else versus just my own experience. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, dude. Everything you said, everything that you just said is my experience too. Yeah, that very, very resonated. That was very resonating. You got to kind of become a sluffaluffagus, you know? You got to slough it off.
That's nice. Yeah.
You got to slough enough of this to become a sluffaluffagus. And once you slough enough of this, you make some real good stuff, I guess. Sorry. Anyways, but I'm going through the exact same thing right now, bro. I am, I'm in the same process, and it's weird. It's like in the beginning, because I'll make an album, and once you get the floodgates open, it's like you can just create a song in a day. Mm-hmm. Bam, 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 and it's coming out because you're tapped into that zone. But then you've recorded the music, your album's done, you've finished that process, and then you kind of move from your heart up into your mind of like, now I'm going to engineer and program and produce this, and then there's going to be digital marketing and all this businessy non-feely stuff. Mm-hmm. It's the difference between the heart and the mind. And so then you get into a real good mind mode. You get into a kind of momentum there. And the way that I've dealt with it in the past has not been as easy as I deal with it now. I've always kind of fought it. Mm-hmm. Kind of like you said. I go, well, I'm going to go create music. And I go into the studio and I sit there and I write something that's bad, and then I delete it and I start again. And it's just like, I just wasted 3 hours and nothing's to come of it. And that process goes on for a few weeks until I really feel like something started coming out. But what I've noticed is that I feel like creativity comes in waves, and this can be comparable to lots of things in life. Like, for example, sometimes we have waves of depression, and sometimes we have waves of real high joy, and we have waves of connection and then disconnection. And I think the next evolution of understanding these things and existing within them is knowing they exist and not fighting them. Mm-hmm. And knowing that it will come back if it's meant to come back. And even if it doesn't come back, what's the harm? It's like we're always where we're supposed to be, and either we're going to be creating music or we're not. And if we're not creating music, then we're going to be creating something else.
Right. It's like you get this fear, this clinging, and that makes it worse.
It's the fear.
It totally makes the writer's block worse. And
it makes it worse.
It does.
And so this is kind of easy to take that and put it throughout your whole life, where something's going wrong in your life, quote unquote wrong based on your perspective. And then you get scared that something's, like, oh, things are going to get messed up. And so I need to stop this from happening. And so you interject this energy of, no, this is wrong. I need to stop it. What you're really doing is you're trapping it in a closet. Mm-hmm. You're putting it in a headlock and holding it in your vibration, as opposed to just riding in that whole, trust and faith energy and going, yo, whatever this exciting thing is here, it's going to teach me something. It's going to teach me something good. Mm-hmm. There's no mistakes. It's all good. And I'm just going to flow with it. And then, that for me is that's the magic of just flowing with the waves, with the seasons, not resisting it.
I've been my prayer recently for more graceful creativity, just grace in that process, rather than it used to be so excruciating. And now it's getting better. Yeah. I remember, you talk about that portal starts to close when you finish an album. And the joke that's always on me every time I finish an album is I'm always like, I've tapped into it. My head is in the collective unconscious. I will live in this river for the rest of my life. Oh shit, I'm lost. Where'd I go?
Totally,
every single time. Jojo and my wife Lindsay, they've always been like, you just need to write your next album right now. Don't even worry about mastering this one. Just keep going because it takes you so long to get here. So I'm trying to shortcut the process of getting back to the river, I guess,
Well, I would say this is from just like a fan's perspective. I'm a fan of your guys' music, your music and Wookiefoot music. Major. And
thanks, man. Me of yours.
You have a lot of really deep, epic stuff that's hard to it's like you leave a legacy for yourself and it's hard to live up to, right? Because the last thing you did was the best thing ever, and then you gotta I gotta do something better. Your last album was even better, dude.
Oh man, thanks.
It was even more, I guess the word that comes to mind is it feels like it's channeled. It feels like you're getting out of your way and allowing something to come through. It's not like I'm saying, oh, it feels like it. I know that it is, bro. Really. I know you're channeling something. I know that we channel something. And I know that Indubious and Wookiefoot, the energy that kind of unites us as bands and friends it flows through both of us. Whether it's the exact same thing or some kind of similar iteration of it, I don't know. But
there's some similarity in the process, though. I can feel it when I listen to your music too. It's like you know what I mean? You can almost hear a process in when you listen to music, like where that's coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's genre, and genre is just like our kind of human coloring that we put on top of it. But beyond genre, like Indubious and Wookiefoot are not the same genre. We're some kind of similar, but beyond genre is the energy that's coming through, the words and the intention. Well, and beyond words and intention is like there's a core vibration of some element that's being channeled through, and I forgot where I was going with that, but I was having fun in the process.
No, I liked it. And I definitely